wanted to ask, to what extent can you compare your own music with the artistic movement?
Well, yeah, I think it's a matter of the devil is in the detail. You know what I mean? I think that it's just a sideways look at things, and it's more about how things feel than putting over a supposedly accurate representation of something. Because I don't think that realism is realism. You know what I mean? I don't think realism is real. I think it's more important to represent how things are experienced.
Is that something that comes back lyrical-wise or more musical-wise?
Well, I mean, I think both. I think the lyrics and the music are definitely run concurrently.
Yeah, I think lyrics. There's no set way of how they work, but words can inform music, and music can inform words. So there's no set pattern to that.
I mean, a lot of our records maybe I don't know. Well, I mean, our records are generally structured around the drums, you know, which is kind of the opposite of what a rock band used to do, you know. But it used to be all about guitars, and we kind of structure it in the same way as like soul music or rap music is organised, you know. I think to that end, I think we maybe don't sing in as straight a fashion as you might expect from a traditional rock band, you know, and the lyrics aren't as straight down the middle as that, you know. So I think it all kind of feeds into each other.
You mentioned the Arctic Monkeys, and you mentioned this kind of blunt musical culture in Northern England.
Yeah, I think it's maybe unfair for me to single out the Arctic Monkeys because
just as an example. So, we talked about the artistic movement. I have a feeling the band you mentioned and the band culture is more, if I can say so, working class.
Yeah, but I think it's one of the things that
it's a representation of working class that probably isn't wholly fair in the UK, because I mean it is forgetting that you can go to a football match, go down the pub, but you can also read a book at the same time. And they are coexistent things. I think it's just, I mean, our backgrounds aren't dissimilar from a band like Arctic Monkeys or many of the bands that come out of, I don't know, Manchester or trailed in the Arctic Monkeys way. I don't think our backgrounds, our parents' income is much dissimilar. It's just that was very much a, fist in the air sort of pumping lad rock crowd that it's never really appealed to us.
But aren't you afraid at a certain point that like that kind of music that you just described attracts more people?
Well, of course, yeah, but I mean that's just true. But I mean, you can't please everybody in that sense. I mean, we're kind of trying to get the most audience we can by not dumbing things down. So we still want to kind of retain the core of what we do. I mean, we do attempts to write accessible songs. Yeah, well, I think the thing that always that we're always pleasantly surprised by how intelligent people are. You know, we can put I don't know, we can put kind of things that aren't sure or secure about our music, things that aren't definite, and people will generally, I do trust our listeners to get it, you know what I mean? I don't think that you need to talk to people in very four-square language. I think that I think that people understand there's more than one way to do things, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people think the same as us. A lot of people are bored by being patronised, you know? I think that's just inevitable. You can't keep going flogging that dead horse.
So was there ever a moment writing the song that you thought, I hope that people get this metaphor or this?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously there are, sometimes you do push people, but at the same time, I mean, our songs do spring from a natural inclination, you know what I mean? Like we write about the things we do because we're preoccupied with those things, you know what I mean? I think it's not as calculated as I'm making it sound, because it's an instinct thing, and I think that stems from a lot of ways being from a very, coming from a very tight-knit kind of situation, the four of us, and all rehearsing a lot, and being from the same places and living together and stuff, and being kind of having a kind of battle mentality, so of us against the world.
But then I just kind of wonder, how do, for example, literature references end up in music?
Well, I mean, they're old ideas. I mean, the thing is, there are no new ideas, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of mining the stuff that already exists and finding... I mean, I do think, like, if you're writing lyrics, I think the best thing you can possibly say is that I feel that too, you know what I mean? That's the best response you can possibly have. So I think if you can locate that in something else and draw a line to your stuff, then I think that kind of makes sense.
Do you have an example of that, maybe a song?
Well, I mean, I've nicked a lot from there's a French writer called Hélène Sieck, who was like a kind of a feminist writer, but she writes about love in a very beautiful way, and I think they've used that for her words as like jumping off points for a couple of songs. There'll be maybe a line or half a line from that, which are then kind of, and the whole song can be built around that. And it's just that having your ears to the ground, really, which I think kind of the sort of music we were talking about lost. You know what I mean? Having been, I don't know, making ignorance into a kind of badge of honour. You know what I mean? And fake ignorance, because a lot of the people making that kind of music are very intelligent people, and they're just dumbing it down. It's like a great novelist writing tabloid journalism. You know what I mean? It's just insulting.